Hey guys, Greg here, Bone Tactical, and we're out here doing some survival training. I'm discussing a new book that I have written on survival. It's a survival manual, and I originally wrote the book to go along with a survival kit that I sell, survival preparedness gear setup, right? But a lot of people have just been asking for me to sell the book by itself, so I started selling the book by itself. Then people wanted me to do videos on the book and really go into depth on the stuff here on the YouTube channel, so I'm getting that done. And actually out here getting the day started and wanted to talk a little bit about how I'm always saying things change in a survival situation. Your life is going to become maybe more chaotic, maybe less chaotic, but your life is going to change, right? And so one of those changes in a lot of cases is a more sedentary lifestyle becomes a less sedentary lifestyle. And I'll give you an example here of yesterday. Just the work that I've been doing actually over the past couple days has caused a lot of abrasions on my hands, right? And that's kind of natural. All right, we've got cuts and abrasions all over, and just being out in the wilderness has caused that. Actually really doing this stuff. So we're out here, we're gear testing for some new products for the bag. We're making videos, kind of really trying to help people out and explain in a bug out scenario how things are really going to be versus how you think things are going to be. I'm going to talk about what I use. I'm going to talk about what I recommend, and I'll even talk about some alternatives. But what's most important is the mindset and the skill set. And you got to develop that kind of stuff on your own. I can show you the best gear, but the mindset and the skill set you've got to develop on your own. Now, these three items are what I'm really going to use right now. And I'll talk about some alternatives, and I'll talk about what these items are. These items come with basically the ultimate survival gear kit, okay? System. This is a survival, bug out survival system is what it is. It's a first aid kit. You guys can use any kind of first aid kit you want. This is the one that I sell with the bag because it's got 131 pieces, and it allows me to sell the bag at a very affordable price. I buy these in massive numbers in bulk so that I can sell the bag as a unit and sell it at a cheaper price than you could pay. If you had to pay for all of this stuff and then the bag and put it all together, it would be like around $1,000. I'm selling this bag for $330 with everything included and the full system, including the book. So the book I'm talking about is a survival manual that I've written, and this is the survival manual right here. I'll give you a real quick look at this book here. This is Bone Tactical Survival Guide, Greg Tambone, right? The chapter 1 or video 1 on YouTube was survival basics. Video 2 was water. Video 3 was fire. Video 4 was the rule of threes. Video 5 was security. Video 6 was shelter. Video 7 was food. Video 8 was tools. And this is video 9, medical. All right. So we're getting into video 9, medical today. And I'm actually showing you one of the reasons why medical is so important. And it's not the big stuff like what everybody thinks, right? If you're an EMT, if you're a medic, if you're a doctor, if you have a lot of medical training, then great. Have your full EMT bag. Have all of the medical gear, especially if you're part of a team and you have a trustworthy team, which is a treasure. It's worth more than $1 million, right? Having a trustworthy team. And if you're part of a trustworthy team, or if you have a medic on your team and you can have that gear for that person, incredible. But if not, and even if you do, you should still have at least a basic knowledge of basic first aid, right? And a basic first aid kit. So this is a basic first aid kit. And a lot of people think, oh, I need to have a tourniquet. I need to have something if I puncture a lung to seal the wound. I need to be able to perform an emergency tracheotomy. I need to be able to set broken legs. Well, with just a little bit of knowledge, somebody can perform an emergency tracheotomy, seal a lung, seal a sucking chest wound. They can stop arterial bleeding. I can stop arterial bleeding with my belt or with the paracord that's in here very easily, right? it doesn't take a rocket scientist, and you don't have to have all of that equipment. The stuff that's most basic and the stuff that'll really get you killed is when you make that transition over to having to work with your hands every day, like what we're doing out here, you know, building survival traps and starting fires and collecting firewood and going through heavy foliage and, you know, man versus nature, and nature can be rough sometimes, building shelters, all that kind of stuff. Then your hands it takes a toll on your hands and your feet. So that's where the blister plasters come in handy. But first things first, okay, is cleanliness and personal hygiene. So what I'm going to do here, these kits all come with some sanitary wipes. So I'm just going to grab one of these sanitary wipes. I used actually one of these this morning and did a quick, you know, rub down, did a quick bath type thing, you know, under the armpits, groin area, and where you're dirty, which saves me some time, that I don't have to actually go take a bath. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to clean these areas where I have wounds, okay? I'm going to first clean it with this just to get some of the dirt and debris off of there. And what that does is it prevents infection, right? Because these tiny little cuts and abrasions are basically something that I could have completely prevented had I just, in the first place, used the gloves that are in the bag. So let me show you first of all. And a lot of us are not always going to take the time to put the gloves on. Had I been using these gloves that come with the system as well, my survival bug out system, the reason these gloves are here is so that these things don't occur. But I didn't use the gloves because, you know, I'm being a tough guy or whatever, or just didn't feel like putting them on. All right. And now I'm paying the consequences. Well, it's going to eventually happen probably in a survival or bug out situation that you're going to scratch up your hands, get some nicks and cuts. So you need to worry about, what you need to worry about is basically just cleanliness and hygiene. So I'm going to go through here and make sure that I don't have a bunch of bacteria on my hands, right? Or dirt or, you know, anything, because I've been, you know, exposed to all of this stuff potentially, you know, dirty in the woods, could be some kind of, even down to the bacteria and animal feces, you know, preparing my food, raw meats, all that kind of stuff, right? So we're doing a little quick cleaning here, first thing. And that's why some sanitary wipes are so important. I highly recommend using sanitary wipes and carrying them with you. So we've got the sanitary wipes out of the way. We've done our initial cleanliness. All right. So from the initial cleanliness, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open this first aid kit here, which has a little bit of everything. And then I'm going to probably do antibiotic ointment, right? So I can assure that these don't get infected. But I'm going to do another next level cleaning here with an alcohol prep pad. So I got rid of all the dirt and everything. Now the alcohol prep pad, what that's going to do is just absolutely ensure that these exposed cut areas don't have anything in them that's going to pass an infection into my bloodstream, because it's that easy as well to have that infection go into my bloodstream, and then it puts me out of commission. Just a small little, what can be a blister, right? And can put me completely out of commission. So from there, I'm going to, what I should have done in this case is I should have used the gloves, and I could feel this blister coming on, right? But I just ignored it and kept working because I had a goal in mind, and I'm a very goal-oriented person and wanted to get it done. Well, what I should have done is I should have popped open one of these hydrocolloid blister plasters, which are also included in the pack and actually prevent blisters. So the only thing that I would have had to do to prevent this blister is pop this off and put it on here, right? This same bandage will actually heal a blister as well. So I should have put this on a long time ago, but like they say, better late than never. I'm going to put it on now, and I'll show you guys how it works. What I should have done is when I felt that little bit of pain right there, I should have stuck this blister plaster on here, right over the top of it, like so. Actually, it should be centered, so let me center it over the wound there, which is now a wound. It was when it was just hurting a little bit earlier. I could have prevented this with the gloves in the kit, or I could have prevented this with this, right? So I'm going to wrap this around here, like so. And now we're protected from dirt and debris entering into here. There is tape in here, so if I wanted to go one step further, I can use tape. I would recommend now wearing the gloves over my hand, but I'll show you guys some other stuff. So there's a cold pack in here if you need to, you know, if you get a impact or something and you want to put ice on it so it doesn't swell as much or something like that. It's a great idea. Splinters are a huge deal, so super handy in the field are these to either, you know, pull out a splinter, or lots of different uses for a pair of tweezers in the field. They're very useful. Like I said, antibiotic ointment. I didn't put it on this one because the antibiotic ointment will actually affect the way that the Band-Aid itself sticks. So I want to think about that as well, but I'm going to put a little bit, just to show you guys, put a little bit of antibiotic ointment on there, and I did clean it very well. So I'm not so worried about it. This has a ton of antibiotic ointment in it, and you only need a little bit, so I'm going to save this for another day. Tomorrow I'll look how this is doing, and I'll probably put some antibiotic ointment on there and change the dressing. All right, there are multiple styles of bandages in here, so there's a lot of options. If this cut was bigger, I could put gauze. Okay, so there's gauze. We've got eye pads. Okay, we've got all kinds of large bandages. There's different gauze in here. If this was a very large cut, I could seal it. Okay, either super glue or give myself stitches of some sort, and then I could put gauze over the top and then tape. If it was something much more serious, if I've got I can use aspirin. I've got aspirin in here if I've got like a headache, or I've got non-aspirin if I'm allergic to aspirin. And then I've got ibuprofen for any kind of joint pain, aches and pains, anything like that. Aspirin can be a good fever reducer. So there's just lots of very handy stuff in here. I'm going to just put a standard Band-Aid on my cut that's on the other part of my hand there. So I can kind of give a little bit of protection from dirt entering in there. Like I said, I still would recommend using gloves, or if you're going to be doing heavy work or still out in the field, then you just put some tape over. I've got tape here, so just wrap the Band-Aid in some tape and you'll be good to go from there. The rest of the stuff we've got in here, we've got a full-size trauma pad here. Okay. There's a ton of Band-Aids, different size Band-Aids. There's bigger Band-Aids, smaller Band-Aids. There's actually a first aid guide, which is really cool, which covers the kind of the basics of first aid. So it's definitely something to read over and practice. There's Q-tips, which come in handy, and the Q-tips basically come in handy in a variety of situations, not just necessarily in a first aid situation, but the Q-tips come in handy really just out in the field and being able to do lots of fine work, even up to firearm cleaning and stuff like that. Q-tips, especially with the strong wooden sticks, are really handy. So there's a tongue depression device. If you're going to be doing medical work on someone else, it's great to be able to have some latex gloves, to be able to put the latex gloves on and prevent anything that you may have on your hands from infecting them. The tongue depressor from, looking in somebody's mouth is in there, and then there's even a nice little safety pin here, which safety pins also come in handy in a variety of environments. I'm sure you guys know, you can get a rip or a tear, or want to pin something somewhere, rip or tear in clothes, anything like that, and safety pins actually are really handy. Can be used for applying, ace bandages and stuff like that as well. That's pretty much the rundown here. We've got our alcohol prep pads. There's antiseptic towels. So this would be kind of something similar to the wipes that you saw earlier that I was using. Maybe a little bit more aggressive, we could say. But with just a few antiseptic towels like this, they you go through them really quick. They're great for cleaning yourself, but I definitely recommend having a bigger bag like what we offer. And that's why we offer them separately, because if you only had to rely on these, you'd go through them very quick. This is the medical kit though. So this is what we've got going on as far as the first aid kit here. And This is a chapter on first aid. I thought it was cool that we could take you guys on a little behind the scenes look, right? And actually show you what we're using and how we're doing it here in the field. So pretty cool that you guys got to see the stuff in use. And this is why I recommend medical gear and really basic medical gear is what's very important. One of the reasons that there's, you know, the pack is light, so we're mobile, so we can move, so we're not wearing ourselves out, so we can be running and gunning. And also for the other and extra reason, so that you guys, if you have medical training or if you have personal medical needs that are different, if you have prescription medications, if you take vitamins, all that kind of stuff, you guys can load that stuff into your bag. There's plenty of room here in the bag for any extra medical gear, right? You guys really are going to want to personalize your bug out systems and your bug out bags. So in order to personalize your own gear, you just got to load in there what you think is useful for you and necessary for you and go from there. This is the absolute minimum. What I sell in what I use personally is this. I'm out here testing the gear. I'm out here using the gear so you can count on and you can know for sure that this gear is 100% viable. All right. It's going to stand up. It's got my name behind it. And I'm using my experience to put to the test this stuff and see if it really survives in the field and will survive the largest variety of end of world scenarios, whatever you want to throw out there, whether it's even anything simple, natural disaster, car breaking down on the side of the road, doesn't matter, guys. This is stuff that you're going to need, that you're going to use, and that I recommend that you get and practice with, as well as get and store. All this stuff lasts a long time. If you're a prepper or thinking about being prepared, or even not a prepper, I don't consider myself a prepper. I'm just a person that wants to have the upper hand when stuff goes wrong, like it does in anybody's life. I want to have the ability to not just survive, but thrive. And if you want to have the ability to not just survive, but thrive, I'm in your corner. I'm putting this information out there. I'm sharing the knowledge, and I'm even down to putting all of the kit together that's going to save your life and make your life easier. And when SHTF, when the going gets tough, this is what's going to make life easier and separate the men from the boys, separate the survivors from those who don't survive. But you guys have to learn this yourself. You guys got to learn how to use the gear. Thanks for watching. Bone out.